I just got 2 thumbs up and I don't know why. But nobody's on this live stream, so does it even matter? Maybe I'll just watch Scott's live stream. What's up? If you're here, I can see that we've got a few people in the live stream. Let me know if the video and the audio are working correctly, because sometimes it doesn't. But I hope you're all doing well. Where are we tuning in from? Please let me know. I'm actually watching another live stream right now while live streaming. How's that for you? Who just texted me? Josh. You all set for your live? I am, Josh. I'm live streaming right now. There was like some weird confusion. Like I use this software called Ecamm Live. It's pretty good, but it's also kind of horseshit sometimes. And it like scheduled it for 4 p.m. or yeah, for 4 p.m. But I posted that I was going at 3:30. Just did some weird stuff. So we're going a little early, and that means we'll do an extra 30 minutes. Emily, hello from Alabama. TJM runs Newark. Wow. All right. Well, welcome. I am headed to New York. Sorry, I saw Newark and then the NY. I'm headed to New York for the first time in my entire life in January. I'm pretty pumped. It's going to be super cold, but I'm still really excited for it. It's going to be a blast. This is where my computer screen is, so if you see me looking up, that's what I'm looking at. I think this is going to be a fun live stream. We're going to go about it a little differently. This is my field notes, so if you see me looking at it, I don't know if you guys have ever used this. The field notes are great. I just want to get back to writing, like scribbling things down more and being even less involved on my phone than I currently am. I hate my phone. I hate it, but it's a necessary evil. So this is just one way to do a to-do list without needing a phone. And so I really enjoy it. Field notes, but check this out. This is today's schedule on what we're going to go over. All right, what's going on this month? Studio Rebuild 2024, the Iron Neck unboxing, upcoming videos, the poll that we put out today. So I think we're going to have a good time. All right, let's dive into this first thing. Anytime you have questions, please let me know. One thing that helps me is just start it with a capital Q, and a colon. That way I can kind of like see, oh, there's a question real quick. But we only have 4 people in the chat, so I think I'm going to catch it regardless. Real quick, please, again, let me know. You can give me a thumbs up or whatever. Let me know if it sounds okay, if it looks okay on my end. I can see look, audio, it checks out, but you just don't know what other people are saying. I've tested this like 9 times. Every single time I test something goes funky. Anyway, what's going on this month? Loud and clear. Thanks, Emily. I appreciate it. For the last 2 months, I have been going super hard on YouTube to pump out 2 videos a week. Just to try to provide as much value as I possibly can, build the channel. This month is going to be a little bit different, not because I need a break, but because I am rebuilding this studio. I love this studio. It's been a lot of fun. I've had it for the last 3 years. Moved in 2020. Sweet. Thanks, TJM. Thumbs up. I've had this studio for the last 3 years, this iteration, and I do love it, but it can feel a little dark sometimes. I mean, I think I've done a pretty good job of lighting it and making it look cool, but I want to brighten it up. More importantly, I want to make it much more functional. Having the pegboard wall is great. I can put some stuff up there. I've got a pegboard wall behind me, but it's not always the most functional thing. And so here is the list of what I got to build. Right there. So I want a dedicated top-down area, a new charging station, more storage, a new desk, because that desk is very wiggly. Like look at that thing. That's crap. That's pure crap. I need in a dedicated live stream area. So going to the first point of brightening things up, I'm gonna leave this one the same, this pegboard wall, and I bought these awesome fake industrial cement panels from a company called Wall Theory. They look amazing. My buddy Joey did his studio in them and let me know about them. I reached out to them. They gave me a nice discount, and so they're kind of like co-sponsoring that video. But that will occupy that big gray wall. And if you can see this giant Hulk print, I've wanted to hang this forever. I finally got it framed. Cost me, God, so much money to frame it. But I'm gonna put that against that like fake cement paneling. And then on this side of the wall, I'm gonna do a more like light wood pegboard. So it'll be different than that. And I think between those two different colors, it's gonna brighten up the area quite a bit more. I'll do the fake cement behind the couch because I don't like how it's just like white there. That kind of looks weird to me. Over here, I have a huge charging station for all my batteries, redoing that, but I want to make live streaming easier to do. I'm going to build a dedicated top-down, like for a lot of the reviews you might watch. I do a lot of top-down stuff. Top-downs can be a real pain in the butt to set up. So having a permanent spot for one, so I can just go in and film, take photos, would just make my life easier. I'm gonna do a whole bunch of storage you can't see, but on this wall, I've got a really crappy cabinet. Gonna chuck that, do that also in that light colored pegboard. Yeah, so I'm stoked. And then, but anyway, that's gonna take a long time. I'm not a builder. I don't make stuff. I'm not good with my hands. And so I'm really focusing on that this month because I have 2 sponsors for that video. I want to do a really good job and make it look amazing for them because they've helped me out with the wall panels, and another company donated all of the lighting that I would need to completely replace everything I have in here. We're talking 8 or 9 grand worth of stuff. So I want to go out of my way and do a great job just to show them how much I appreciate it. So month of December, you're not going to see as many videos from me. You will see some. We'll talk about some of those videos here in a bit, but that's kind of what's going on with the month of December. Check that one off. 2024. Oh, Michael, what's up, man? Thanks for saying hi. I hope, oh, I can click on these. I'm an idiot. Boom. I forgot I could do this. And I can do it in the font I like, which is cool. The bold font. That's kind of like a font I use on the channel. I hope that the week treated you well. Week did treat me well. Just stressed about getting this studio done. And so I felt very unproductive because I didn't get a lot done. Shot a video today that will come out on Tuesday. So I'm happy about that. But thank you, sir. Sure. Happy Friday. Yeah, man. Stoked it's Friday. What is everybody doing this weekend? Any big plans? I got to tell you, my wife found the coolest thing to do. There's like a cooking class we go to every once in a while, Le Sur Taub or something like that. It's in the mall. The first time we did it, I learned how to like, I want to get better at cooking. I suck at cooking, and all I watch are like cooking shows. So I know way more than I used to. I can read menus, which is great now. Like fancy ass menus. I know what they're referring to. I never could read a menu and it just intimidated the crap out of me. But watching all these shows, I'm getting pretty good at like recognizing foods. And I want to get better at cooking. I don't want to be a chef, but I just want to be better. Anyway, this place teaches you how to cook. We learned how to cook like steak and potatoes, like the best steak I've ever had. The next one, we learned how to make our own pizza. But this Sunday blows them all out of the water. My wife found one where we get to make donuts, and we get to make Boston cream pie donuts, which are her favorite, and maple bars, which are my favorite. Bacon covered maple bars. I might even like cook my own bacon and bring it in a Ziploc bag just to add it myself. Probably make some people jealous. But that's what I am doing this weekend. Hello to you too, POV. I've seen you comment before. Appreciate the support. Thanks for being here. Richard, obviously there was like some weirdness with the emoji that you used. You might be able to see it on YouTube. I can't see it. All I get is like a pink waving hand. But hello. There's some like weird things that the Mac system does now. Have you guys seen these? Like the gestures, will it work? Or gestures on or off? I guess they're off. You used to be able to do stuff like thumbs up, and the computer would see it and then make an emoji based on the gesture you made. Like if you did a heart, like a whole bunch of hearts would pop up. I don't have time to like figure it out and make it work for you. Michael, I was hoping to hit the golf course, but it looks to be raining all weekend. Man, I'm sorry. That's a bummer. It's snowing here, and we desperately needed it in Salt Lake because the inversion sucks so bad. Going to watch the Impact No-Gi tomorrow. Wait a sec, are you here in town, Jer? Because Impact, like my professor Carlos, he kind of owns Impact, co-owns Impact. I didn't know that there was a No-Gi tournament. That'd be cool. I would like to go watch that. I don't think I would participate. I haven't done jiu-jitsu enough. Headed to Arizona to get some trail running in. Wow. Time out. So you're going from Newark to Arizona to run on some trails? That's some commitment. I'm impressed, sir. Nice work. How's the FX3 treating you? Man, word's getting around. Well, it's the FX30, and I'm filming on it right now. How do you guys think this looks? Does it look okay? Obviously, sound is running through this little Streamer X thing that I have from Rode. Hopefully it sounds good. But yeah, using the FX30, I will share my thoughts on it because this is my live stream. FX30, I love how small it is. I love how fast it is. I've been able to create some presets, like I made a preset for live. So I didn't have to do anything. It's just mode, MR1, and it's good to go on live. You can't do any of that with the R5C. R5C is so big, it's so bulky, the lenses are huge, it's expensive as hell. This was only like $1,600. It was like $2,500 for 3 different lenses, which is bananas. But there are things that I don't really care for. The audio preamps are pretty garbage. I'm having a hard time. I had to refilm a video 3 times today because the noise gate was just crazy high. The noise floor was crazy high, even though I took everything down. So I've been having problems with the volume through 2 sets of microphones. Yeah, I do like how fast it is. The autofocus is bananas. Oh my gosh. Autofocus is bananas. So I'm kind of torn whether or not I return this and just keep the R5C and make it work. I like the R5C's image much better, but that's a full frame camera. You know, it's quite a bit more than the FX30, but so far FX30 is pretty great. Not gonna lie. Well, Neil, I appreciate you coming for the short time that you can be here. I think that's awesome. If you've got any questions, everybody, fire away. Like if I had like 100 people in here, I'd tell you how to do it to make it a little bit easier, but this many people, it's not that big of a deal. Sure, I competed at the gi tournament last night. Sweet. I need to get back into it. I need to win a world champ. And when you don't do jujitsu after a long time, you start to get like rage, like where you just want to choke people all the time. Like you want to do it, and then you start having jujitsu dreams where you are doing it. And that's happening, so I need to get back. Looks great. I have the FX30 and the FX3. Kind of like the image out of the 30 better. Well, it's sharper, right? 6K downsampled to 4K. Like some people really like that sharp image. I honestly prefer a softer image like what I got out of my C70. All right, we've caught up to comments. So let's move on to the next thing, 2024. Hopefully you guys have some big goals. Hopefully you've written them down, right? You're getting clear on what you want. I thought I would kind of peel back the curtain a little bit as to what some of my ideas are and what I've got cooking from both a YouTube side and like a business side, because I think one of those things you'll be interested in. Maybe two, but probably not all of them. One of the things I want to do with YouTube next month, and something that I've really enjoyed this year, was doing hard things. I kind of like labeled this the year of hard things. I wanted to try really hard things. After I did a 75 hard 2 years ago, that process was very hard, but very rewarding. And I went, well, what other things can I do that's really hard and really rewarding? And then I did Worlds, and it didn't go well, but I really enjoyed the process and went, man, that's the key. Not being comfortable. I need to get uncomfortable, and I need to do many more hard things. Did a half marathon on kind of a whim, just did it after never having run more than 3 miles. And that was really cool. That was like a really cool moment for me. Training for Worlds this year was insanely hard, and I got injured, which sucked. But man, that was a cool place to be mentally. I hadn't been there for a long time. And so this year, what I kind of want to do is a monthly challenge. Each month, go, hey, this is what we're doing. We're going to do, let's say it's a marathon. Let's say it's a 3-day fast. It'll be all over the place with hard, but it's very much inspired by Michael Easter and his newsletter. So I want to do that each month, do a hard thing, do a big challenge, maybe do a giveaway for it. I don't know how I would implement the giveaway, but I would love to get lots of people to join in for that, monthly hard challenge. Hopefully you guys will join. Let me know what you think of it so far. Business. Why did I write business down? Just working on trying to make YouTube a more sustainable business. It can be very profitable, but you got to have a lot of things in place. So I'm going to be working on that. Oh, physical products. So I've talked about this a couple of times, but it's just been very like throw it out there. It's out in the ether. Nothing has really come from it. I have been working, don't tell Whoop, I have been working on making really affordable Whoop bands. I found a guy that can help me, and I sent him a Whoop band. I was like, hey, we need to recreate this, but make it a little bit different. And it's already done. He sent me a text. He's like, got one, got samples. We're like ready to roll, which was really surprising because I thought it was going to take a lot longer. But that's something I'm really stoked to do, is give you just a cheaper Whoop band. Because right now they're pretty expensive. Whoop bands are super nice. I'm not knocking them. But I need to be able to provide people a more affordable Whoop accessory. And that will continue to grow. We've got some really cool ideas for an ingenious Whoop band that is nothing like this one that I think you're really going to enjoy. Anyway, that's on the docket. Got some goals from TJM. Registered for the Infinitus 2 Fit. You're going to run. What the hell? You're going to run 250 miles, man, in the Fool's 415? Are you kidding me? That's insane, bro. 250 miles in the 415. Like I'm not running seriously at all. And I suck so bad at running. But I've been watching more inspirational running based videos. I've never been one to like watch inspirational videos. I don't find them very inspirational, to be honest. It's just like, yeah, let's go do this and get buff and take our shirts off and be dorks generally. I think most of the fitness industry, the overwhelming majority, is like pretty douchey. But for some reason, I am finding the running community, like I've been watching Nick Barr. He's just this giant, super buff dude that runs like a 2:45 marathon, which is just mind blowing to me. But I've actually found that stuff kind of inspirational and watching more and more ultra stuff and going, how long would it take me? What the idea of doing something absolutely batshit crazy like that, adventure wise, like an adventure miler, really piques my interest. But at the same time, I'm like, you'd die. You'd get 15 miles in and just like, so, dude, I think that's awesome. Anybody else that wants to share their goals, throw them up. I think it's rad. That's crazy though. 415. Infinitus. I kind of want to look this up real quick. Let me look this up. Google. Let's see. Fool's 415. Fool's Ultra 415. Stewart just found Nick Barr recently, and he's next level. Agreed on all accounts, not being able to do it. Man, he's a beast. The guy's, we're the same like weight. Well, he's probably a little thinner right now because he's getting close to his marathon. But like I'm 210, and I'm just like, how does a guy that's 210 pounds run a 5:45 pace? It doesn't make sense. Welcome to the Fools Ultras. This is the home to the ultimate road trip across the state of New York beginning. Oh, that's cool. So you man. That's nuts. I bet that's rad though. Afraid support it. Unafraid. Okay. Wow. Man, that's awesome. Kudos to you, TJM. Kudos to you. I think that's so cool. Let's see. Been getting into trying to organize my life when it comes to writing my thoughts. Do you prefer writing on paper or do you have any digital way you organize? So I use both. I use both mediums. I think they both have their place. This field notes is very new to me, but I've been writing in a journal I've been doing one of these Panda planners. I highly suggest this for productivity. Said that like a Canadian. I highly suggest those for writing down like the schedule and your day and like what you need to complete. I really like those. And I've used that for probably the last like 6 or 7 years. Gone through like, man, so many of those things. 80 of those things probably. Field Notes is brand new, but I like it because it's small, it's on me. I can't keep that on me. And when I have a thought, like I've got video ideas, we'll kind of cover some of those just right in there. If I wanted to sketch in here, I could. Kind of the things I need for the studio build. This is proving to be really good. However, when I do a script for a video, that's when I opt for digital. I'll go into notes or just an email and write everything out. That way I can have it in front of me, whether I use a projector or I just read it off my phone. Typically when I film, the phone is like right down here and I look at it, I memorize the paragraph, and then I go about filming it. So I use both. I think both can be really good. I'd like to win one tournament, local or not, at Blue Belt. That's awesome. It's a super cool feeling. Don't get me wrong. Like winning is fun, and it took me a while, and then I got to where I started to win quite a bit. At my age, I was winning just because I was in much better shape than most of my competitors. Now that I'm at like purple and I'll be brown here in probably a few months, if I just go back, I've been purple for like 4 years. You run into people that are much more serious about the sport than the people at white belt and blue belt. And that's when cardio things become way more even and it becomes much more of a skill driven thing. But I would say at blue belt, if you could just become far more fit than everybody else you face, you probably win tournaments purely on that. Emily, I have a goal to run a mile. Then we'll go from there. That's awesome. Baby steps. You got to start somewhere, honestly. Reading the book slow as if. Martinez Evans made me think. Of course you can. I guarantee you can. Even if you start with the walk run, right? Like I'm gonna walk for a minute, I run for a minute. Do that. Like take it in chunks, and you got it made. Upping VO2 max at least 5 points. That's awesome. Yeah, I've got a horrible VO2 max. Like just absolutely awful. Thankfully, jujitsu and running is going to help with that. No way. I finished the Fools this year inaugural. That's so cool. That is awesome. All righty. Oh, King, what's up, buddy? Definitely sign up for the amazing race. Are you talking about like the TV show? I actually had two really good friends make the final in that. I can't remember if they won it or not. The McKibbins. Just the other day, I was talking to my wife about it, and I was like, "Should we do it?" And she was like, "Hell no! I'm never doing it with you. I'm doing it with my sister." And I asked her, I was like, "Why would you do it with your sister?" She's like, "'Cause we're the same." And I went, "That's why you would lose." She didn't like that. Because you got to have like a different set of skills. My wife is kind of like the polar opposite of me in so many ways. She is insanely analytical, type A, the most prepared person I've ever met. But she freaks out sometimes when little things start to, the wheels start wobbling. Whereas I'm very much a hands off the wheel type of person. I can wing it, and I've got a lot of skills that complement her skills. So I was like, babe, we should do it. So that's funny. Oh, you guys want to? This is a hilarious mug. Kick today. This is a great mug. Earlier, I had some bone broth. Oh, that was one thing I wanted to talk to you about. Upcoming videos. I'll just do that now. Let's talk about maybe you take your brother. I don't have a brother, King. I got no one. I got a sister. She's super pregnant. She's doing like 20 days. Let's see. Upcoming videos. It says right there. Let's just do it right now. So the reason I have a mug, I've never used a mug because I don't drink coffee, is I started playing around with different types of fasting. Okay? Like going long amounts of time without food. And the reason I'm doing it is it all comes back to doing the hard thing. I, for whatever reason, over the last like 6 months, have really struggled with food and just over consuming. I feel like, just like my phone, I'm addicted to food at this point. Like I have no willpower when it comes to just not eating. I will be completely full and get bored and be like, I gotta eat. It's so weird. I gotta tell you, it's almost disgusting in a way. And so I need to unhandcuff myself from that. And I've been playing around with different types of fasting, length of fasting. And one of the things I've been doing is using bone broth. Just basically doing a water fast. Went 26 hours, which is like the longest I've probably ever gone, which is kind of scary when you think about it because maybe something happens and you have to go 3, 5, 8 days without food. Like, how are you going to cope psychologically? I'd much rather have experience than no experience. And so I've been using bone broth in a mug, but today we're using pre-workout because I'm gonna go work out and go back to jujitsu after this live stream. Anyway, video ideas, fasting. So eating just one meal a day for an entire week. I've already seen some interesting side effects from that. I don't want to spoil the video, so I'm not going to tell you. But also doing an 86-hour fast like Dana White. That was one of the things I saw. Just woke up, saw that Dana White had done a fast, and I went, what if I did one? So there we have it. Other videos. I actually ran a poll the other day on YouTube to see what people wanted to see the most of. They said reviews. Reviews are fun. They're great on YouTube because that's where you get the views, but it's not the best for building a community. Reviews, people just drop in for like a bit of information and they peace out and they don't like subscribe and you don't ever see them again. Then I asked like, hey, what kind of reviews do you guys want to see more of? Do you want to see budget things? Do you want to see the highest high-end type of things? Do you even care as long as it's tech? And it was kind of split 30% between I don't care as long as it's tech and high end. Really kind of surprised me. I bought a pair of pants the other day for adventuring from a company called Volleybach. They make some extremely pricey clothing, but they are the most technologically advanced clothing on the planet. They do some ridiculously crazy stuff. And so I bought a pair of pants called the 100-Year Pants. They're built so gnarly that they will last 100 years. They're flame-proof, wind-proof, water repellent. They do some crazy shit. Anyway, that's a video I want to do. I want to do a video on those pants because I think they're rad and I see a gap for that type of product. A gap in YouTube for that type of product. Lastly, the video we're doing today. So somebody actually just asked this, which is perfect. Brian, what's up, buddy? Brian Adkins says, saw your video on spending less time on your phone with your Apple Watch Ultra. I have one myself. How do you get out of the mindset that you're missing things if you're not constantly scrolling on social media? That's a good question. I'm going to come back to this question. I just want to finish my thought because I have ADHD up the wazoo and back again. I will probably not finish. The last thing, cheap versus expensive. This is the video that's going to come out on Tuesday. This is the iTouch Wearables Air 3. This is the Apple Watch Ultra. This thing costs 40 times as much as this. And I hate spec for spec reviews because I really don't think they give you any valuable information. I think all you get is regurgitated numbers that you can see. What you're really after is experience. What is the experience of using something like that? And so in this video, what I'm trying to convey is like, when is the right time to buy premium? When does going super cheap actually make sense? When is it actually worth it? So that's a video that's going to drop on Tuesday. Hopefully you guys like it. And I do talk about this compared to an Apple Watch. All right, Brian, let's get back to your question. Saw your videos spending less time on your phone with your Apple Watch Ultra, blah, blah, blah. How do you get out of the mindset that you're missing things if not constantly scrolling social media? You know what? I bet you and I are maybe a different age. And the reason I bring that up is because at 41, I've had enough time to see how comparison just is brutal. I'm a 41-year-old on YouTube without a college diploma. Every time I hop onto social media, I'm seeing somebody that's younger than me, that's more successful than me, that has a degree, smarter, yada, yada, yada. Social media for me is doing nothing good for me. So I really don't need much more motivation than that. But I also have a wife and a kid. And the reason I bring that up is because you need a phone. You got to stay connected when you have a wife and a kid. You can't just like peace out for 5 days and leave your phone behind. The coolest thing about the Apple Watch Ultra is it gives me all the connection that I want. Calls, emails, text messages to the people that I want. But because of the way mine is set up, I don't have social media on this. I don't sit there and scroll. So I'm not missing out on anything that's just making me feel like poo anyway. Plus, it makes me a safer driver. Lord knows how many dumbasses out there on their phones have rear-ended somebody and maybe even killed somebody. I'm one of those dumbasses. I got in a wreck because I was on my phone, and that was definitely an impetus to get off of my phone. But I felt like I couldn't leave my phone at home, and if I just felt it in my pants, I would like take it out and look at it. That's how bad it got. The Apple Watch Ultra is kind of that in between where I get everything I want. Hopefully that helped. If it didn't, I'd say take an honest look at social media and see if it's doing anything good for you. I'm like I said, I'm on the older side. I don't get FOMO because the guys that are my age aren't really doing crazy stuff. It's like guys that are 28 and 30, like young 30s that are doing all the cool stuff and playing ball, and I'm like, oh, I'm missing out. But that's not me anymore. Mitchell, what's up? Have you taken a look at the Superset app? I have not. Let's check it out. Superset app. There's so many great fitness apps out there. The Superset app. That's not the one I wanted. Or maybe it is. The Superset. Is it for coaching? Mitchell, let me know, because the ones that I'm seeing right here are all on coaching. Superset Creator Tool app. I guess I really didn't think it would be a non-fitness one being called Superset, but let me know if I'm way off. Realize that this world exists much longer without social media than it has with it, and we're much better back then. Yes and no. Social media does some really good things, but for the most part, the experience you get off of social media is the one that you create for it, right? Because the algorithm is what delivers all the stuff to your face and your eyeballs. And so if you look at a certain thing and tell the algorithm, this is all I want to see, that's what you get fed. However, they're always trying to introduce the thing with the most views to your eyeballs. And those are generally not great things, you know? Man, low key waiting for a vid on how you do effective time management. Please expound. I have no idea of what effective time management is. How does my day go? Where do I have time management? No, I don't. I'm very ADD. I'm driven off of impulse and passion. But I have an insane work ethic. Not to sound like douchey or anything, but there are very few people that I think work harder than me. Today and most days, I'm up at 4. I'm editing or writing a script at 4:30, and I will continue to work. Like when I don't have my kid, we have him like a week on, week off. I will work until 5 o'clock. That's actually pretty early for me, and then I go and do jujitsu. If I'm not, then I'm like working until like 6:30 or 7, and that's just basically every single day. I personally really enjoy working really, really hard, and thankfully, the job I have with cameras and making videos also fills my like creative need cup. So it's pretty rad. I like the job I have is amazing, and I feel like I would be doing it a disservice if I didn't work my ass off. Also, I just want to contribute to the family, right? Like I want to be able to provide the best life I possibly can to wife and kid in whatever way that looks like, you know, whether it's money or me helping around the house or whatever. And so you just go and like, yeah. JJ Ross, buy once, cry once. Amen to that. And that is what the video is on. So I think you'll like it. Brian, I'm 31, but I struggle with that most. I always feel like I doom scroll and see what is going on. Yeah. Do you have a group of friends that you can hang out with on the regular? Do you have a hobby? One thing for me that makes a huge deal is photography. Honestly, if I get to that point where I find myself doom scrolling, I'm like, go shoot, because that's way more fun than being on my phone, and that's a huge waste of time. But I would say grab a hobby, grab some friends, start there. Obviously, I can't like fix all of your problems via a live stream, but maybe we can give you a few bits of information that really help. Of course, man. My pleasure. That's why we're here. Are you a fan and believer of massage guns? Follow up, do you think they actually work? They do work, but they don't work in the way that most people think, right? Like most knots don't release by like really rapid superficial pressure. I have a massage gun. Is it up there? It is. I'm not going to go get it. It is the crap. What is the brand name though? Recover Fun. That's right. Recover Fun Mini. That's my favorite massage gun because it has lots of pressure. It has a high amount of stall force, but a very small form factor. It's very tiny. So the way you get rid of knots is by long, constant pressure, not right. It's like actually going to a massage where somebody just like digs in with their thumb and then they just hold it until it releases. So do massage guns work? Yeah, because they stimulate the area, they cause warmth, they cause blood flow, and that counter irritation can relieve some pain, but they work, but they don't work in the way that most of them advertise it. Like massage gun, it's not really a massage, it doesn't really work that way. I'm on the test flight right now, and it's very solid. The dev is very productive and takes suggestions. David, is that on the Superset app that you're talking about? Mitchell, it looks super promising. Let's go back here. Oh, okay. So yes, still, I'm not sure what it is. So please let me know what you guys are talking about. What does the Superset app do? I'm 44. I look inward for peace and happiness nowadays. If you're running and outside, you're probably going to find it. Mitchell, not Mitchell, Brian, get outside too. I can't tell you how gnarly the impact to your mental health will be just from being outside. I love photography and I love being outside. And so for me, one of the coolest things I can do for my brain is I do road trips just with a camera. Like that's the sole purpose is to just be outside and take photos. I did a 4,000-mile road trip a couple of months ago with just the intent of taking photos. I ended up making a video, which was a lot of fun. But if I had to do it over again, literally not even think about video. I would just go shoot. And that would make me super happy. And that was like 7 days of not being on social media. I was out in the Pacific Northwest, didn't have like cell service at all, which was so super cool. David says Superset is great looking and functions well, even if it's in its current state. I'm thinking ditching Garmin for it since Garmin hasn't been updated for falling behind Whoop and the rest. Huh. Okay. So yeah, Superset Health. Okay. Well, I have test flight. I got to check it out. Wait, did my link not work? I did not see a link come through. It might have on YouTube. If I could show you this, what I'm looking at is not YouTube. It's a program called Ecamm Live, and it allows me to do all of this stuff. Oh, well, I guess I could have to use my phone, but let's check YouTube. And okay, that's kind of weird seeing me after the fact. Let's see. No, I did. A link did not come through on here either. Sorry. You are free to post it up. Mitchell, if it doesn't work in the live chat, wait till we're done streaming, if you don't mind, and post it or send it to me in Instagram. On Instagram, that would be awesome because I'm super stoked to see it if you guys are thinking it's great. Yeah, I think the links are blocked. I don't know why the links are blocked. That is not something I have done. That's kind of weird. Sorry, guys. Mateo, what about the Apple Watch to run and half marathon? Dude, I love it. It's great. The Nike Run Club app is awesome. I'm a big fan. King, where does the R5C currently live in your production? Right now, it kind of just a sec. Just so people that are watching aren't necessarily camera people, that's okay. This is the R5C, the camera. The lens is not the R5C. Anyway, this camera is pretty incredible. It is a 45 megapixel camera that takes photos, which was the R5, one of the greatest photo cameras ever. And then it's also this kind of cinema powerhouse that shoots 8K 60 frames a second RAW. But it's got a lot of quirks. All right, King. So where does it sit in my production? Right now, it's been doing virtually all of the vloggy stuff. And every once in a while, I use it to make some client work. I have 2 clients, and I've used it very infrequently. And I am now trying to figure out if I can use a much smaller, faster, lighter camera, the FX30, to do the vloggy stuff, because I like to go hiking and vlog, and this thing is massive and heavy. And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes I load up the bag to like 30, 40 pounds because I want to get a workout while I'm doing it. I'm like, I'm going to go hike 6 miles. I would love to ruck the whole time. But sometimes I just need to go up and go back and just have fun and not be weighed down. So I'm trying to figure out where this is going to fit. So far, what I've seen out of the FX30, it's a pretty great camera. The audio's kind of an issue right now. And the image is not as good as this. There's something about the image from this camera that feels thicker, like there's more layers to it. The FX30 feels a little thin. But the dynamic range is about the same between the two, which is really surprising from what I've done with it, right? Let's see. I'm about to go to bed and just saw you were alive. I just wanted to say thanks for your content. Keep it up, and thank you for responding to most of the comments in your videos. The Dude. Thank you for joining right before you're about to go to bed. Where are you joining from? Because right now it's only 4 o'clock here. I really try to like hop in the comments as much as I can and reply to people. I want them to feel seen. There are very few times where I don't reply to a comment, and that's usually because it's like, dude, you left an a-hole comment on a video that's 3 years old, and your comment doesn't apply to now. It might have applied back then, but it doesn't apply now. Those are very, very few and far in between, and so for the most part, I really try to comment on everything. Can you guys do me a huge favor? I don't like asking this. But if you haven't hit the like button, if you're finding any value in the live stream, please hit the like button. It's the little thumbs up or whatever. Do me a holy crap, we've been going for 48 minutes. That's amazing. I'm watching a live stream right now with my buddy Scott. He's done like the longest live streams in the history of YouTube. He's done 6-hour live streams, and I was watching his before I started mine, and I was like, knowing that you're still going to be streaming for another 3 hours makes me happy, because I can then jump back in when I'm done with this and watch. So, Michael, I am 52, and while I minimally agree with you about the benefits of social media, it has far and away been a detriment to many aspects of our society. 100% agree. I would say 80-20. 80% of it sucks, 20% of it is pretty cool. For me, it stinks because all of my business is done on social media. What's really crazy is like a couple years ago, Instagram was so much more effective than it is now. I did like I have an online training program called Mobile 90 that I developed to do like revamp people's mobility and help them feel better. And I would just, the only time I would ever talk about it and sell it was using not just Instagram, but just Instagram story. And my entire income basically came from just posting on Instagram stories. Kind of crazy that for free you could do that and make a good living. And I did. Like I cleared like 6 figures that year, which was bananas. My 17-year-old daughter is getting into photography, and we've got a Rebel T7. It's like the most popular camera ever, so great, which she loves. Any resources for her to learn more about photography? Yes, I got the best freaking video for you ever, and it's by my buddy David. I'm so pumped to be able to share this with you. I'm going to pull the link and put it in the comments. Hopefully it will let me. But the video is like 80% of photography in like 20 minutes. So he's going to teach you everything you need to know in just like 20 minutes. And David's like one of the coolest dudes on the planet. Love this guy. Popular photography basics in 10 minutes. And if it's too basic, come back and hit me up. And you're more than welcome to reach out to me too. If there's something that David doesn't cover, let me know. I'm not a professional photographer. I get paid to do photography, but I wouldn't consider myself a veteran, a pro photographer. But I could probably help with some basic stuff. That's what I'm saying. All right. Boop. There you go. So just copy that link or click it and let me know if it works. King, what do you use for macro shots? It depends on the lens, because I have a cinema lens, a couple of cinema lenses where the close focus is so good that you can macro. I don't do a lot of macro photography, but I do have the IRIX 150 macro, and so for video, that thing's awesome. It works really, really well. For hike vlogging, why not the ZV-E10 and the Sony 10-18? Because I want better image quality. Like when I go and I do some of those vlogs, there are times where I want to sit down and make it very, I hate this word, cinematic, right? Like I just want as much dynamic range as I possibly can. And the ZV-E10 with the 10-18 is okay, but I'm seeing better results out of the Action 3, I think, the DJI, the gimbal-y one. So I still want something either Super 35 or full frame, but very tidy. Yeah. That is the short answer of it. It's not a knock on that, but I'm really kind of spoiled with like cameras. I've like bought some cameras, and you get to a point with image quality where you're like, I don't want to go backwards that far. Sometimes I'll roll out with my Komodo, but just a sec. Honestly, this is an awesome little vloggy camera. Like for some of the stuff that I'm doing, it's not like a vlog camera, but this with my like TT Artisans, like the 12 millimeter, like this is an awesome camera for vlogging. It's so robust. Like this thing's been in rain and snow and dirt, and it just works. It's a champ. So yeah, when I want to go like real gnarly, I'll take this guy. By the time you see this, I would have switched off the live, but I'm in the UK. Okay. I like my early nights, my early mornings even more. Same there. Thanks again for joining. Have a good night's sleep. We'll catch you later. Oh, look who it is. Love seeing those chats on screen. ECam Live. What's up, Matthew? Matthew O'Brien is honestly just one of the best people I know. I was so pumped like when I did that Pacific Northwest road trip. I just off on a whim decided to go to San Francisco. I hadn't been there since I was 16, 17. Matthew is a really good friend here on YouTube. He is a Final Cut Pro genius. So if you need editing help and you use Final Cut Pro, Matthew is absolutely brilliant. But he happened to be in San Francisco. We were able to meet up and hang out. He's He's just the nicest guy. We both are really into photography, street photography. Matthew's awesome. Have you read Peter Attia's book Outlive? No, I haven't, but I love Pete. It's an amazing book and really shaping my 52-year-old self to get myself in better shape than I am now. Yeah. I mean, he's like that's his whole forte is longevity, metabolic researcher, super smart dude. Love that guy. If you like Peter Attia, you're probably going to really enjoy Michael Easter. Definitely check out Easter stuff. Haven't shot in years. I still have an old A6000 with a 30 mil 1.4. It's funny how many how much camera stuff I'm starting to get on here. It's kind of fun, but at the same time, anyway, let me pop that back up. And I stopped because I'm colorblind and got all the colors wrong. Black and white, man. That's what I do. I just shoot like 90% black and white. And the reason I do is, honestly, I just find it a lot less distracting than color. I have a hard time thinking about light and composition. And then if you're shooting sports, you're like frame rates, the shutter speed, all of the exposure, all that stuff. And when I started shooting black and white, everything just got much easier for me. Buddy Josh, what's up, buddy? Looking good. Love the shirt. Thank you, sir. A man who also likes his flannels. Josh has got a big beard, was a very successful farmer at one point, also just does YouTube, and co-hosts a podcast with me called 16 Stops. It's all about cameras and stuff. King, how practical is using the KX for your YouTube content? Dude, it's like the best studio camera I've ever had. It's uber practical, and I shoot almost all of my YouTube videos with it. I shoot a ton of my client work with it. It kind of goes and does everything with me. It's the podcast camera, you name it. Cannot fault Logic CVE to sort of trash by ounces or pounds and all that. I get it. If I did something really extreme where I really needed to monitor the weight, then I would probably think much more seriously about what I was packing along. When I bought those crazy Volleybach pants, there's not too many times where I've been like, I'm going to make content and I'm going to do such a great job that the brand that makes this can't ignore me. Whoop was kind of one of them, but it was unintentional. It wasn't until I really got into it that I was like, I think I can do way better at Whoop stuff than Whoop can do on YouTube. Volleybach is such an interesting company to me. They do things in such an interesting way that I just want to be a part of it. And I see a gap on YouTube where if you go in and you type Volleybach on YouTube, you're going to find like 8 to 10 reviews. All of them are like 4 years old and all of them look like garbage. And that's okay. But for me, I'm like, you know what? I'm willing to take a chance and spend the money to buy these products, not just because I want to do something with them on YouTube, but because I actually need them and I think they're rad. But I really think in my brain that I can make something so awesome that they can't ignore it. Let's see. San Fran meetup was great. It was, yeah, I had my fun little Leica SL2S, which Matt got to shoot. I think he enjoyed it. It's a weapon. It's a heavy ass camera. But then I also had some of the best pizza I've ever had in my entire life there. What's crazy is we still haven't. Oh, okay. I've just been going through comments, which is fun. Live streams are so much better when there's people in here talking. I can't tell you how many live streams I've done where there's like 8 people and it's just crickets. And you're like, dear God, what do I need to do to get through this? This is not one of those live streams. This has actually been a ton of fun. Okay. I talked about some of the stuff that I bought in Black Friday. I'm going through, that's the list. Gotta love that autofocus, Sony. Upcoming videos, we talked about that. The poll, we talked about that. Iron Neck. So this is a really interesting product. I didn't want to unbox it without you. So, in part of that video that's coming out on Tuesday, I talk about like when is the right time to go cheap, when is the right time to go expensive. This is the expensive thing. After injuring my neck, it was like, wow, you really got to take training your neck far more seriously if you want to avoid this repeat injury, because I'm going to continue to grapple. Like the likelihood of me hurting my neck again is really high to begin with. Now, when I started training my neck, all I had access to was like a little band, right? Like a little resistance band. And I've been doing it, but it's kind of cumbersome, and two, it's pretty limiting. This is the Iron Neck 3.0. It's gonna allow me to train my neck more seriously and just better. And for Black Friday, they had $100 off the 3.0. There was no way I was going to buy the 3.0 Pro because you spent like an extra $200 for like a resistance dial. It made no sense. But anyway, this was $250, so very expensive for a neck trainer. But here's why you want a neck trainer. Not saying you have to have this one. A little band could work. But a long time ago, 3.5 years ago, almost 4, I got a concussion. And then 10 days later, I got another concussion. And then for the next 3 months, I literally couldn't get out of bed. The only thing I could do was shuffle cards. That was the only thing that didn't cause me severe pain and nausea. I would not wish a severe concussion on anybody. Unfortunately, I got like 4 more after that. And because of that, now I have a thing called POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, where my autonomic nervous system can't regulate my heart rate very well, can't regulate my blood pressure very well. So concussions have caused me some serious downtime. I've lost probably 1.5 years of training from jiu-jitsu because of it, between the POTS and the concussions. The greatest thing you can do to prevent a concussion is having a strong neck. That was a long story for this. But anyway, here's the Iron Neck. I kind of wanted to unbox it, and I figured let's do it on a live, and let's see what it's all about. So this is the product. It goes over your head. What's really cool about it is it's got like a pump, you know, like the Reebok pumps. You sit there, and it cushions around your head. So you don't have to like buy a different size. Now, I have a really small head. I didn't even think about this. I'm hoping it'll fit me. But the other cool thing about this is it allows you to put resistance and then spin. I can't do that with a regular band. It just like, it won't work. And to be able to do rotational and anti-rotational work is going to take my neck training to the next level. And I'm very serious about winning a world champ. And I don't think I'll be able to unless my neck is like even stronger than it was prior to me getting injured. So you open it up and there it is. Let's put this thing on and see if I can pump it up. So that goes in the front. So essentially this goes on your head. Uh-oh. I'm telling you, I got a really small head, but pumping. You can hear that. Oh, yeah, that's going to fit. Oh, that's cool. I'm going to have to adjust this band because it's not getting onto my skull enough. How's this looking so far? Oh, that's really, you can make that really tight. I just got to adjust this guy. Oh, that's cool. That's very comfortable. It's got some foam here, very squishy. And then this is the air spot. Oh, and then you deflate it like that. There's a button on the back that you press. So this fills it up. You can see it. And then you press this button. And that deflates it. How cool is that? All right. And since this free spins, this hooks to the resistance band. I already had those. I didn't have to buy them. So you can pull the band out, get your resistance, and then rotate. That's huge. So one of the hardest things for me when it comes to a concussion is doing this. that crushes my concussion. I have to like look. So being able to train my head, just doing this actually kind of makes me nauseous. That's part of that POTS. Anyway, what'd you guys think of the Iron Neck? That was fun. If you haven't hit the like button, please go whack that thing. All right. Well, holy crap. We got through the agenda. All of that we did. Having an agenda is kind of weird, but I like it. Is there anything else that I need to provide? No, we got everything. So if you now, I guess we'll start the formal question and answer. We've been going for an hour. I will keep this going as long as there's questions. If there's not, that's okay. We'll just end via the live stream. But if you got a question, hit me up. Let's see. Sorry, I kind of got distracted there for a second. What is that Ecamm Live program? Has that been there the whole time? I mean, it seems to be working. Yeah, it's working. Ecamm just worries me. Matt, I don't know how you do it, man. Oh, okay. Here we go. I didn't see these. We've got some good questions here. Josh, favorite energy drink right now? Yeah, I do like my energy drinks. I've got some in here. Favorite energy drink. Probably Ray's Watermelon Frost, or for a pre-workout, I'm gonna have to go Raw Nutrition's Thavage. This is why I love this company. Raw Nutrition. They have an athlete, C-Bum, Chris Bumstead. He's won like the Olympia like the last 4 years in a row. Anyway, he has a lisp. So instead of his S's like Savage, he does the TH thing. And they actually made his pre-workout and spelt it THAVAGE, Thavage. I think that's awesome. Brian, Iron Neck is legit. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about it. I think it's gonna work out great. Ecamm time. Brian is an expert with Ecamm. He says, give it time, you'll get there. Will I? I don't know. I see people doing all sorts of cool stuff like scenes. I just don't know if I'll get there. So today, I really wanted to do an A-B test of cameras, the FX30 and the R5C, to see which one you guys thought looked better. I thought it'd be fun. I wouldn't tell you. I would do an A-B switch. And then I realized I'm using the Streamer X. I can only do one input. And that was kind of brutal. I spent like all of this time putting everything together, and then I was like, oh, you can't even do it. So anyway, but Ecamm lets you do some pretty crazy things. Like I could use my phone for it. Tom Buck like has his actual like handwritten font in there. It does all sorts of fun stuff. Anyway, I feel like this is kind of wow. Okay, we just got some more questions. Great. How do I get motivation to train, compete in BJJ again after a bad loss? Dude, I've been there. I went 0-2 in my last tournament and scored 0 points. I just got my blue belt, but now I'm feeling like I don't deserve it. First of all, you are not the first one. You're not the only one that has felt like that. I have felt like that. I got my purple belt and I went to Pan Am's and the guy tapped me in like 47 seconds. And I was like, holy shit, I don't deserve this. And it really bummed me out. The only way you can get over it is by getting over it. Like, go back to class, go back up and sign up for the first tournament you can. Shooters have this, right? They like, you got to get out of a slump. The only way you can do it is by keep shooting. And for train and compete again, it's just like sign up and go. The best athletes on the planet, from a competition standpoint, like Jordan, they just turn it off. Losses fuel them. They don't like stop them. And like with volleyball, when I was playing volleyball, my buddy Jake one thing I admired about Jake Gibbs so much is that if he made an error, if he had a bad play, if they lost a match, he had great short-term memory. It was in and it was out, and he was on to the next one. And I would give you that same advice. Short-term memory. The whole I got my blue belt, but now I don't, but I'm feeling like I don't deserve it. Yeah, you'll feel like that, but listen, you were given the belt for a reason in the first place. If your coaches are like my coaches, they're not giving you belts haphazardly. They really believe that you are at the place where you deserve it. I will also say that I've had a few belts given to me not because of where I was at the moment. It was because they knew that it would push me a little bit further. Josh says, stop using road products. Listen, man, it's not like I wanted to, but this is the only audio video solution out there. If Blackmagic made one, I would use it. Yes, it would have, but I couldn't do the fancy audio processing. I can either make video really fancy and easy using the A10 Mini, but with not great audio. Well, it makes the audio solution more difficult for me given the cameras that I have right now. Or I could use the Streamer X and make the audio awesome with very little work, and then I kind of suffer because I can only do one channel input. Anyway, shut up, Josh. Nobody asked you. But that's my advice for you, Jer. Now that I said that, God, I need to compete again too. I've been kind of scared of competing. It happens. It happens. You don't want to lose again. Like taking a bad loss is like it sucks. For me, like getting injured, not being injured or being injured was not the thing that made me scared. But the hard work that I put in and then not being able to compete, that really messed with me. That like really messed me up. Alrighty. Well, what time is it? It's 4:42. We've been going for an hour and 12 minutes. I wish I had the steam and to go for another 4 hours because these things are fun. But get your last questions in. I'll say at 1 hour and 15 minutes, I will wrap it up. So you got 2 minutes and 15 seconds. DEFCON 4 goes DEFCON 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Not the other way around, just FYI. Most people think DEFCON 5 is like the most serious. It's the other way around. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, Josh. I was telling everybody at the start of this live stream that on Sunday I'm learning how to make donuts, a maple bar. I'm pretty stoked about this. You know how much I love donuts. I'm finally going to learn how to make one because my retirement plan is to open up a donut shop that only serves one kind of donut a day. Like it's so fancy and so exclusive that we just do one donut a day, and when it sells out, you're out. It's like, peace out. That donut was so damn good. Still using your Whoop 4.0? Yeah, of course. Have you tried the arm sleeve? Dude, of course. Chris, where have you been? No, I'm just giving you shit. Yeah, man. When I first started doing jujitsu, that was the entire reason I went with Whoop, because it was the only one that you could wear safely. So the neoprene arm sleeve back then was a little different, but yeah, I have the neon green one, still have it. But what really kicks ass are the rash guards. Chair, I appreciate the feedback. Recovering from injuries, but we'll sign up for the next one. Okay, yeah, you gotta recover, then sign up. Yeah, if you're there tomorrow, if I can find it, if I can find out where they're having that tournament. Oh, wait a sec, I gotta film though. So I doubt I'll be there. But if I am, please come find me, say hi. That sounds awesome. Don't open a donut shop. You'll end up hating donuts. That'll never happen, Josh. I love donuts. I'm gonna go to the grave loving donuts. And I just want to make the best donut on planet Earth. I'm just gonna get really good at making a bacon covered maple bar, and that's all I'll sell. That. What other kind of donut would I sell? An old fashioned. What else? I don't know. I don't know enough about donuts yet to make something. Pink Box Donuts. They got a lot of different donuts. All right, everybody. I think that's it. Unless Chris, unless you had a follow up. Anyway, my brain just kind of like pooped out on me. I can feel the concussion symptoms starting to well up. So just want to say thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining. 2024 is going to be an interesting year. This is going to be an interesting month. Studio rebuild. Anyway, now I'm just rambling. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.